Hello, yogis. I'm Tammy, and this is Yoga with Tammy. This is a very quick video that covers something I think is very important, which is how can we bring mindfulness to our everyday actions. And today's action will be simply coming from sitting down to standing up. How can we make the most of that? Instead of just getting up off the floor or even getting up off the couch or a chair, if that's where you are, how can we best feel ourselves in our bodies as we're doing this action? So let's assume that we're on the floor. You can also do this in a chair. So if you're in a chair, try to have your feet flat on the ground with a nice flat back. And if you're sitting down on the floor like me, I'm not using a cushion, but if you're straining to keep your hips over your knees or this is painful, you can always just put a cushion and raise and elevate your hips, which will help you to sit with a nice flat back. You can just rest your hands on your knees or your thighs, and this is something you can do maybe not every time you go from sitting to standing up, but anytime you might think of it or you need a little breather in your day. So bring your hands anywhere on your legs that feel comfortable, palms down, palms facing up, whichever works best for you. And just gently close your eyes or maybe rest your gaze a few feet ahead of you in an unfocused way. And just pay attention to your breath. This doesn't need to last for minutes on end. You can just pay attention to your breath in and out. Try to notice where you feel the breath coming in and out of the body. Maybe it's at the belly, maybe it's at the chest, or maybe at the nostrils. Or you might even have a full body awareness of your breath coming in and out. We're actually breathing through every cell of the body, every pore of the skin. So try to see if you can feel this sense of expansion on the inhale and the sense of release and letting go on the exhale. We can also deepen our breath ever so slightly just to be aware of that extra sense of expansion as we breathe in, belly expanding, chest expanding, and letting it all out on the exhale. You can exhale with your mouth open or closed, whatever works best for you. You might want to move towards doing the inhale and exhale with closed mouth, and let's just do that a couple more times. Great. And here I'll add a little bit of gratitude. So let's bring our hands to the chest and let's just say, thank you, body. Thank you for allowing me to sit in my comfortable position on the ground. Not everybody has this luxury or ability. Thank you so much. And I'm going to pay extra special attention to my body today as I move into a standing position. I also wanted to point out that you can sit however is comfortable for you, as long as you notice that you have this flat back, like somebody's pulling on the top of your head. You can feel this expansion between every line of the spine, that you're one straight motion from the tail all the way to the top of your head. So you can always sit in a regular cross-legged position. This is called Sukhasana in yoga. Or you can sit with one heel in, whether it's the left or the right. It's always fun to play around, see if you can do both, because one will always feel easier than the other or more natural. And it's great to see if we can take our bodies gently places where they're not as natural and not as comfortable, and see if we can expand what is our comfort in life. You can also do a half lotus position, which is putting one foot on top of the other thigh. And if you want, you can also work towards, of course, a full lotus, both feet resting on the other thigh. And whatever's comfortable for you. You might find, depending where you are in the world, that sitting like this on your heels is very nice and comfortable for you, whether you're sitting between the heels, resting in between, or on top of them. For an extra challenge, you can sit on your toes, which is a really great foot stretch. We often don't really stretch the muscles and the joints in our feet, so it's a really great practice to do that as well. You might even find yourself sitting like this. Anywhere that you find yourself sitting, you might be watching television like this if you're not in a chair or a couch. So whatever it is, we want to learn how to be a little bit more mindful in how we stand up, at least some of the time. So what we can do now to stand up is, instead of just kind of rushing up however we do it and not noticing, we might find that we're always using one muscle more than the other, one leg more than the other, and this will eventually create some imbalances in the body. So why don't we put both of our hands on the ground and just pay attention for a second. Feel the sensations of your hands on the ground. How does it feel for you? Are your fingers equally stretched out? Do some of them feel tighter than another? Just notice the sensations that you might feel from the ground under you. You might try to be aware of any sensations that are coming up from the fingers all the way to the shoulders. How can you align so that you're not hunched over, but so that you're pulling your shoulders back, your shoulder blades reaching towards each other? And just notice, just maybe play around a little bit here. Do I feel loose in my hips? Is one hip tighter than the other? How can I maybe stretch using my hands to loosen the parts that feel a bit tight? All the while keeping the integrity of the straight spine. How can I be aware of my body as I move through space? Can I bring myself a little bit forward, or is that really, really tight for me here? Can I add a cushion and maybe practice gently inhaling, stretching, and then lowering and releasing? Where can I create more space in the body? And then from here, let's come onto our hands and knees. So you already have your hands on the ground, and we come into a kind of a flat back in yoga. This would be the tabletop position, legs flat on the ground. Your hands are under your shoulders. Your knees are under your hips. We're inhaling, arching up, bringing your chest to the sky, gazing between the eyes and the third eye, exhaling, and then arching the spine, feeling that delicious stretch all across the back body. And this time, instead of just doing the same motion almost without thinking, let's again explore. Where do we need to stretch? Where does your body need to work out some kinks? For me, it's right here. And just stretch it out. You can look over one shoulder, look over the other, always being aware of the breath. We're inhaling as we expand, and then exhaling as we arch and stretch. You can even come all the way back, if you'd like, into child's pose. Such a nice stretch. See again if you can feel a stretch all the way from the tail of your spine to the ends of your fingertips. You can have active arms, so they're not just lying on the ground, but you're creating a nice line, a nice stretch in your shoulders, your hands, your fingertips. All the while your head is lower to the ground, no tension whatsoever in your neck. Your head is relaxed. Inhaling, coming up. You might come all the way into a cobra position if you'd like to really stretch the lower back. Anything that works for you. So we're being playful. We're on the ground. We've just been sitting down. And we're getting our body ready to stand up, move into the day. We might not be as mindful as we can be as we move through our actions. But we have these couple of minutes here just to experiment. Just to come back into our body like we're saying hi to an old friend. See how it's feeling. Then we want to bring both feet under us. At the same time, we have that really nice stretch in the feet again. Hands are still on the ground. And just feel that out. How do your feet feel against the ground? You have your weight on kind of the ball of the foot and under the baby toe equally spread. So we have a nice, just like your hands are evenly spread on the ground, nice sense of balance. Just play here. See how you can balance in this area. And as you can see, we're about to kind of leave the ground, so just thank the earth for supporting you. And then we're going to slowly and gently lift up, keep your legs bent as you bring your hands as much towards you as you can. Keep the spine arched, you're dropping over your knees, stretching the back. If this is too difficult for you, you can always have a chair, or you can come up a little bit more quickly, but see where it's comfortable for you, even if it's all the way here, where you can let go, drop the neck, release the head. The shoulders do so much work carrying your head every day. Let it go, let it drop and relax. So you might be up here, you might be as low as down here. And then slowly on an inhale, starting from the tail, vertebra by vertebra, we're going to lift up so that we're really stretching the spine one by one. As we come into standing, I'm going to come a little bit further back so it'll be a little hard to see me standing up. And then once we're all the way up, just spread the legs about hip width apart. I'm going to come on my knees just so you can see me, but you're standing up. Make sure your shoulders are nice and back. You can even roll them one time and then let them hang where they fall naturally. Feeling the collarbones stretch out. And just stand with your palms facing forward and feel the energy moving through you that you may never have noticed if you just came from a sitting to a standing and moved around. Notice the stretch you've given your whole body just from this simple action. So please stay in your standing position just for another moment. You can close your eyes if you'd like and just take a couple of deep breaths. Feeling the ground underneath your feet. Feel how supported you are, just like you're so supported when you're sitting down by the ground. When you're standing, when you're moving, you always have this support under you. So take a moment to feel the power of the earth rushing through your body all the way up your torso, into your head and beyond. And now that you feel fully embodied and you're present within yourself, it's a really great time to move around with your day, with mindfulness, with gratitude, with a smile. Thank you so much for joining me for this short video on sitting to standing. I hope it was useful for you. Namaste.